Missing a deadline does not dethrone you. The way you reframe this moment decides whether you keep your hands on the wheel and keep your reputation. A setback does not wreck a career. The panic reflex is what bends the wheel and steers you off the road you chose on purpose. Stop first, look straight at the facts. Take the wheel back now. Reframe is the skill of shifting from frantic to responsible action, turning trouble into a pivot point that works in your favor right now. Change the story. Change the choices. Change the outcome. If you keep the old script, fear will ghostwrite your decisions and turn one delay into a scar on your credibility. If you do not change the angle, you will pour energy into self-blame, lose momentum, and miss the chance to make it right with decency and integrity. Do not punish yourself. Do not catastrophize. Do not let go of the wheel. You build a new reflex with very small moves repeated the right way, so your brain believes you are calm and still strong enough to steer. Every day, pause for one beat. You must separate facts from the story. You win by doing this reframe, then act. Are you sure this incident is defining who you are, or is the way you read it doing that job? Ask yourself what is still in your hands and what is only noise pulling you away from your clearest decision. Whose judgment are you afraid of? What facts are you missing? Can you tell the truth right now? Set one small behavior that is close enough to do immediately and meaningful enough that momentum returns through self-respect, not luck. Write one reframe sentence. Choose one solid step. Give a brief update. Change the language and the choices change with it. Change the choices and the result changes. The results you will live with and own tomorrow. Not dodging, but looking straight. Not self-scolding, but self-coaching. Not pleading, but solving together. You need one tight trio to move forward because the brain decides better when the frame is narrowed and the light hits the right spot. Calm, clear, decisive. Pause, reframe, move forward. Choose one straight line. When no one is clapping and your head is as loud as a crowded marketplace, remember that silence is the emergency brake before a sudden, sharp curve. Do it when you are tired. Do it when you are bored. Do it when no one is praising you. Victory here is not fireworks. It is a chain of small, well-aimed choices that braid into the reputation you carry everywhere. See, choose, do. You win by doing this reframe, then act. You win by doing this say less, do it clean. Today, what story do you want to tell about yourself when things do not go your way? The story that takes away or returns your agency? Do you choose the victim or the driver? Do you choose silence or transparency? Do you choose panic or a plan? Start with one simple reframe lock and one clear step, and let new action speak for you better than any complicated explanation. The day you change how you read trouble, you change your trajectory, and future delays become small drills that make you steadier. Keep your hands on the wheel, go straight through the noise, arrive where you choose. Chapter 1, Pulse Check. Spot the early signals of delay. You do not lose because you are late. You lose because you miss the early signals and let fear ghostwrite your decisions. What you need is not a miracle, but a clear eye that can read the signs before they bloom into a crisis. Stop. Look closely. Take the wheel. Your win begins with a simple skill detect early, name it accurately, and redirect before everything slides too far. When you spot things in time, you minimize damage, protect your credibility, and open the door to a plan that can save the day. See early, name it right, handle it clean. If you do not look straight at it, small signs will turn into loud cracks, and the bridge of your credibility will shake more than you expect. If you blame everything on the calendar, the habit of avoidance will repeat, and every next time will cost more than the last. Do not dodge. Do not push it away. Do not stay foggy. Every delay tends to have the same warning lights blinking like a dashboard that you choose to ignore. There are messages you have not answered, promises hanging in the air, tasks you keep scrolling past while telling yourself later. Every day, scan your familiar triggers. You must pause for one beat before you react. You win by doing this call your true emotion by its name. Are you actually late, or are you afraid of being judged and trying to escape a hard conversation? What are the early warning signs beyond the quick breath and the eyes that avoid the glow of the screen? Will you pause long enough to separate data from the panic that runs circles in your chest? What is the real name of the emotion, fear, shame, or anger at yourself who is driving you, or the panic? Set one small action to break the spiral. Write down 3 plain facts, circle the part you control, and choose one step. Write a short reframe at the top of the page to remind yourself that there is still a way through. Choose who needs an early heads up, tell the truth, and offer a plan. Close the loop today. Lighten your mind so you can move. Do not dodge, look straight, because dodging only lets panic grow in the dark, like fine dust in a sealed room. Do not blame the calendar, own the habit, because the calendar does not hit snooze for you. You are the one who hits snooze on those unnamed alerts. Do not talk in circles, be transparent, because a straight line is always shorter than the winding road of excuses and empty promises. You grow up every time you choose responsibility. Say less and do what must be done before you say what people want to hear. Honest, clear, grounded. Stop, breathe, name it. See, choose, handle. Calm, clear, decisive. This trio is the handbrake before the curve, the headlights in the fog, the compass needle on a messy map. Keep it, use it, repeat it. When you are tired, you can still pause for a beat. Take an imagined 4-count inhale and review 3 reliable facts. When you are bored, you can still write a decent apology, include an alternate plan, and close the email cleanly. When no one is clapping, you can still nod to your own honesty and keep your gaze steady. That is how you do not drop yourself while fixing a mistake under red lights and blaring horns. Composed, focused, self-respecting. Every day, scan one habit that makes you late and give it a true name, the way you would name the street you're about to take. You must choose one signal to be your real bell, like the sound of water leaking through a valve that you will not allow to keep dripping. You win by doing this. Set a clear stop from words to action, then check whether that stop actually locks in place. To make it plain, see early, name it right, block it early, then act like the person who takes responsibility for the environment you create. Early, accurate, solid. Will you ask yourself, if I were not afraid of judgment, what would I do right now that is decent? Do you see yourself reading guesses instead of plain numbers, reacting to your own story instead of the facts? Are you ready to switch from I am terrible to I lack skill, X, which opens the door to learn and fix? Will you pick up the phone or hide inside a long message? Will you lock in a plan or let the conversation drift like clouds? Do you choose agency or the role of the victim? Do not paint it all black, call the right shade, because truth is rarely black or white. It only needs enough light to show the details. Do not surrender to the current's steer, because driving in fog does not need speed. It needs steady hands and properly aimed low beams. Do not wait for everything to be fine. Make one thing clear, because one clear point often pulls in a second and a third. You are designing your circumstances each time you decide how to read the signals and how to open the conversation. Design. Do not wait. Do not run. Stop. Breathe. Name it. Listen. Inspect. Fix. Speak. Propose. Execute. Each tricolon is a step across the bridge, carrying you to the far side where your credibility waits with a quiet smile. Step steady, light feet, eyes forward. Treat each sign of delay like a polite reminder sent to you, not a verdict, but an invitation to adjust your steering. Handle one small embarrassing task first, because removing the pebble in your shoe takes you farther than any pep talk. Start with an honest opening line, because honesty shortens detours, even if it makes your face burn for 5 seconds. The earlier you choose, the softer life feels, and the shorter the distance from problem to pivot point, short enough to see it. Choose early, choose straight, choose to act. Are you late or are you afraid to own your part in the story? Where you are the most credible narrator, can you place a hand on your chest and say clearly what you know, what you do not yet know, and what you are ready to do now? Can you stop apologizing in circles and switch to a clean proposal with short sentences and a tidy path forward? Will you let panic drive you, or will you drive the panic like a rider who knows the horse in the road? Whom will you answer first, your conscience or the applause? Every day scan familiar triggers like, I will do it later, it is fine, I will figure it out. Then note exactly when, where, and with whom they appear. You must pause for 3 symbolic beats before you react, so your brain stops shaking and your words lose their thorns before they touch another person. You win by doing this name the true emotion, because an emotion with a name loses some power, and a person with a name is easier to talk to. Seal this block with 1 sentence, printed boldly in your mind. I see early, I name it right. I choose the straight line. Print it into your habits. Let it live in you. Let it steer you. Do not hunt for someone to blame, hunt for your point of agency, because 1 small point of agency often has surprising leverage. Do not add more story, strip away the fluff, because a grown person says less and does what needs doing before taking credit. Do not hide behind silence, step up and speak, because silence in the wrong place costs more than a timely admission. Transformation happens when you switch roles from being dragged to choosing direction, and switch tone from frantic to calm with a plan. Switch roles, switch tone, switch lanes. Stop, breathe, name it. State the truth, offer a plan, lock confirmation, drop the fog, cut the hedging, take 1 step. Tie this thought down like lacing your shoes before a run. The hard part is usually the first second, not the whole distance. Tie tight, stand tall, go. When fog covers the windshield, you do not need more speed. You need low beam headlights and hands that hold your lane. When pride stings, you do not need more arguments. You need 1 breath through the nose and 1 line that says, I will own this part. When the whisper, you are awful, returns, you do not need a fight. You need to switch to, I lack skill X, and I will learn it. These are the 3 shortest paths out of the bog and back to solid pavement so you can keep going. Leave the mud, find the road, keep the pace. Every day choose 1 type of signal and train your eye to spot it the moment it flashes at the edge of your vision. You must turn the next recognition into an early conversation instead of a long night of self-justification. You win by doing this. Gather your almost late moments, find the common pattern, and set a stop that fits your real life. The story you tell yourself will decide how you speak to others, and the habit of seeing early will decide what you get to keep. See early, speak early, fix early. Do you want to be the kind of person others trust with work, or the kind they have to remind and then sigh about? Do you want to walk through a problem with your head high and eyes bright, or sneak around and slap more tape on a cracked mirror? Do you want your reputation to thicken with each clean response or thin out with each avoidance? Do you want the straight road or the maze? You choose now. No one chooses for you. Begin by naming things accurately, because what has a name stands still and allows a conversation. Repeat until it becomes reflex, because a good reflex saves you on curves you did not see coming. Look straight today. Look straight tomorrow, and every time after you are still the one holding the wheel. Chapter 2, Cut the Spiral. Stop the everything is ruined script. Panic magnifies everything, and a single it is all over can knock you off the direction you need to go. If you want to keep your hands on the wheel, you must cut the disaster script the moment it sparks in your mind like a dry flash. Stop the reel now, change the line immediately, keep a steady grip on the wheel. Cutting off catastrophe mode is not sugarcoating. It is the discipline of language so your brain works from facts instead of imagination. You change the story first, then you change the choices, and only then do you change the outcome you will live with. Tighten the sentence, choose the right facts, act decisively. If you do not cut it, the line "everything is ruined" will take over the channel and herd you in circles like a night watch chasing the wind. You will drive under fear, crash into the fence of excuses, and stand there scolding yourself until you are spent. Do not license panic. Do not feed the drama. Do not exaggerate. Every day, catch the line, "We are doomed" the instant it pokes its head out, like flipping off a switch stuck on the wrong mode. You must change the words at once, switch from a movie to the facts, from "I am dead" to what is actually happening. You win by doing this. Ask, what is the reality? Write it down and anchor your mind before emotions take the wheel. These 3 lines are enough to yank the steering away from the old rut and bring your mind back to what you can control. Keep it simple. Keep it clear. Keep it strong. Ask direct questions that pull your brain back to the road instead of down the dead end of melodrama. Are you narrating a movie, or are you reading facts? What does "it is all over" do for you besides giving fear a megaphone? What can you control next, even if it is as small as one clear sentence? If you were calm, what would you choose differently, and which words would make you stronger right now? Which declaration represents you better, the victim or the driver? Block the spiral with 2 ordinary moves anyone can make, as long as you take responsibility for the words you use. Write 3 plain facts and no interpretation, no embellishment, no judgment. Change "everything is ruined" to "here is the situation." And plan B is, choose one small step close enough to do immediately. Summarize cleanly, block the wrong line, switch to the right line, and confirm a clear step so the brain has a road to follow instead of drawing a maze. Do not exaggerate, narrow the scope, because what you can grasp always lives on the small edge of what is happening. Do not scold yourself, coach yourself, because grown people do not need a whip. They need clear guidance to walk straight. Do not defend, be transparent, because a straight line wastes less energy than any detour you try to build. You shift from someone caught in the whirl to someone standing on the bank watching the current and laying a board across. Stand firm, speak clearly, execute cleanly. Block, shift, confirm. Calm, clear, decisive. Few words, on point, enough force. This is a trio like the handbrake, the warning light, and the steering wheel, helping you drive instead of getting spun. Keep the structure. Repeat the structure. Live with this structure. When tired, add no lament, just one breath through the nose and one line. Here is the situation. When bored, do not start the inner movie, just bullet the options and the name of the person to notify. When no one applauds, do not chase the noise. Let honesty be the ground your voice stands on. You will feel the spiral weaken as your words become simple, clean, and directional, composed, upright, self-possessed. You win by not waiting for a mood to act, but acting so the mood quiets down and things return to your reach. You win by not doubling the script, but breaking the problem into pieces, naming each piece and handling each piece cleanly. You win by not digging a deeper hole, but building a bridge of words and crossing like someone who knows the way. See, choose, do, block, shift, confirm, reframe, notify early, act. Each clause is a step, and 3 steps link into a road wide enough for you and your credibility to walk together. Check whether you are fighting the facts or fighting a private movie with a soundtrack and foggy lighting. Are you using data-free words like always, every time, everything to inflate what is only a specific snag? Will you dare to swap "I am terrible" for "I lack this skill," which opens the door to learn and repair, instead of slamming every exit? Can you state a declaration that makes you stronger? Like, this is a small test and I will do A right now. Do you want to hear your voice as a driver or the echo of a broken speaker in an empty room? Now cut the spiral in the easiest way, change the words and change the tempo, like turning the volume knob to what you actually need. Write down 3 things you know for sure, then 3 things you guess, then strike out the guesses and keep only the sure. Send one short message to the person involved with 3 parts: the situation, the option, and a request for confirmation. Promise yourself that it is all over is no longer broadcast on your internal channel. Bottom line, things become calm enough when you are clear enough, and your wording is the master switch for the entire system. Do not let your brain run free in a dark room. Open the window and let the light of truth step in and shape the space. Do not pour oil on the fire. Pull the extinguisher because cooling it buys you time to see the path. Do not turn one incident into destiny. Keep it within the frame of a situation to solve so your dignity is not imprisoned by words. From there, the spiral loses wind, and you move forward knowing that language is the steering wheel of the mind. Change the words, change the course, change the result. Block, shift, confirm, cut, clean, set, calm, clear, decisive. These are not lines for flair. They are 3 moves you can make right now with your hands and your voice. Put them into habit. Put them into the call. Put them into the email. When the inner critic returns, you do not need an argument. You only need to change the channel what the reality is. When someone's look makes your face burn, you do not need a long defense. You only need a concise line and one feasible proposal. When your gut says it is done, you do not need to burrow deeper. You only need to lock confirmation and return to the main flow. All of this is how you stay at the wheel instead of sitting in the back seat listening to panic recite poetry. Stay with the wheel, stay with the facts, stay with your dignity. Do you want to keep amplifying the line "everything is ruined"? Or will you turn it off and switch to what is really happening? Will you choose a declaration that makes you stronger, or let a weak line drag your credibility downhill without brakes? Will you slide along the old slope, or will you confirm a small step and see yourself return to a steady rhythm? Whom do you speak to first, fear or responsibility? What do you want others to hear from you today? To close clearly and to remember when the heat rises, the light glares, and the noise crowds your life. Stop saying everything is ruined. Switch to here is the situation. Lay out an option and request confirmation. Keep your voice calm, your sentences tight, your path straight. Stop the spiral with practical questions. Hold the wheel like a driver and keep going. Chapter 3, Reframe the story. Change the angle, change the decision. You are not stuck because of the incident. You are stuck because the story in your head is stripping your agency and locking your hands off the wheel. One clean reframe is worth more than a long stretch of panic because it changes the language, changes the choices, and then changes the result. Change the lens, change the label, change the route. Reframe is not sugarcoating. It is disciplined interpretation so you act on truth instead of a self-directed movie. When you change the story, the brain gets less noisy, the body cools down, and your voice turns clear again, like a switch snapping on. Less drama, more reality, action and focus. If you keep the label, "I am bad," every step will feel heavy like stones in your shoes, and your self-respect will tear a little more at the heel. If you slap on the label, "No way out," your brain will hunt for proof of despair and park you at the window while opportunity passes by. Do not box yourself in. Do not block your own door. Do not tie your own hands. Every day, practice one perspective shift so your mind has a lever ready when trouble knocks. You must turn failure into feedback so the lesson has a place to stand and your confidence can return to neutral. You win by doing this. Redefine your role from victim to driver, from scared to the person who offers a plan. To make it plain, your words are the steering wheel, and a good grip starts with accurate naming. Name it right. Choose right. Do it right. If this is a test, what is the prompt asking of you besides responsibility and one strong move? Which story gives you power right now? "I am broken," or "this skill is not sufficient yet and needs tuning"? Do you want to be the victim or the driver when the outside noise is fighting your inner voice for the microphone? Will a new sentence open a new road, or do you want to linger in the same dead-end alley to complain some more? Are you sticking an unfair label on yourself just because one turn was not smooth? Write a reframe that is frank and doable, then read it like a password that opens a cold room so your feelings can cool. It is not that I am bad. My skill X is not sufficient yet. I will learn it and apply it to the very next step. It is not a dead end, only the old method is. Plan B is in reach if I tell the truth and make a clear proposal. Keep the line at the tip of your tongue. Keep it at the top of the wheel. Not I am bad, but the skill is not sufficient because truth needs precision, so energy knows where to flow. Not no way out, but change the method because the next door often stands right beside you, missing only one clear sentence and one clean step. Not it is over, but it is in progress because an active tempo turns stuck into process. You are not denying difficulty. You are refusing to let difficulty define who you are. Proactive, precise, plan in hand. Change the name, change the angle, change the move. Light head, sharp mind, quick hands. See, choose, do. These trios are headlights in fog, a compass in the woods, a bridge reaching the safe bank as the water rises. Keep them. Use them. Repeat them. When you are tired, do not dig another black hole in your head. Place one reframe and let your mind breathe like opening a window for fresh air. When you are bored, do not turn your faults into fate. Pick one small detail to fix and regain rhythm with a task that fits your hands. When no one is clapping, do not chase a stage. Keep your calm tone and let tidy action speak for you. That is how you return to solid pavement instead of stomping in the sinking sand of self-scolding and complaint. Composed, economical with words, clear on the work. You win by doing this. Reframe the wording before you reframe the decision, because language is the software of behavior. You win by doing this shift from my fault to my responsibility in my proposal, so the call moves forward instead of freezing. You win by doing this turn stuck into navigating, so your hands return to the wheel without any audience. Acknowledge, propose, execute, calm, clear, decisive, few words on point, sufficient force. Each beat makes room for dignity, and dignity makes room for results. What are you training your brain to believe? I am terrible, or I am learning faster each time? Will you let one small mistake define the whole map of your life, or simply mark a place where the process needs tightening? Will you choose the driver's seat, say less, and offer a plan, instead of sitting in the back and begging for forgiveness at length? Do you see that each reframe is a small key that opens the door to calm insight and forward motion? Do you want to leave the dark room or stay and watch the sad movie you directed? Return to a simple everyday formula as clean as removing extra weight from your backpack before the climb and keeping only what takes you farther. Write 3 plain facts, insert 1 responsible reframe, then lock 1 step close enough for your body to do it now. Change the line "I am done for" to "Here is the situation." Plan B is, I will own this part and I need your confirmation. When the words go straight, the path curves less and your nerves stop vibrating like an overplucked string. Straight words, straight work, straight road. Ask for reality, not luck, because reality is the anchor that pulls the boat to the right dock when a surge of rumors rises. Do not wait to be rescued. Rescue yourself by changing the label, because a new label changes the angle, a new angle changes what you see, and a new sight changes the decision. Do not paint it pink. Choose the true color so your hands do the necessary work instead of drawing more smoke. From there, you will hear the engine again, steady and warm like a car, idling ready to merge onto the main road. Honest, realistic, in practice. Change the name, change the angle, change the move. Strip the old label, apply a new label, flip the script, reduce drama, increase data, lower the temperature. Each tricolon is a shortcut key. Press and the reflex runs, putting you back in manual drive instead of drifting. Memorize it, use it fast, keep it long. When pride stings like a thorn, do not jerk the wheel. Say I will own this part and here is my proposal. When the feed distorts the signal, do not pin on more feelings. Say here is the reality and here is the move. When confusion presses on your chest, do not torment yourself. Say this skill is not sufficient, yet I will add it and apply it now. These lines are not magic. They are rails that let the train of behavior run straight again. Straight rails, smooth wheels. The train moves. Every day, choose a calm tone to narrate hard work and choose one reframe that hands the power back to you. You must store feedback in your learning vault, not throw it into the trash can of pride so the work truly upgrades. You win by doing this claim, the driver's role, drop the victim role, and earn your reputation one clean response at a time. Remember, the story you tell yourself will leak into how you speak to others and then imprint how others see you. You define, you choose, you take responsibility. Do you want to be remembered for I am broken or for I am fixing this and here is the plan? Do you want others to see you skilled at excuses or skilled at navigation when the work goes offbeat? Do you want to live in a hall of warped mirrors or open the door and step into sunlight where truth is cool and the air is clear? Do you want to keep the naming rights to your life or hand them to a single incident? However you answer, the road will follow. Choose one reframe with force simple enough to say, even when your heart is fast and your throat is dry. Repeat it until it becomes your default language. So whenever trouble arrives, your hands find the right lane by reflex. From words to behavior, from behavior to reputation, from reputation to trajectory, each gear meshes with the next. And when the gears mesh, you will go far in a straight line, without a backdrop, with nothing but dignity. Choose the line, choose the lane, choose yourself. Chapter 4. Facts versus story. Separate facts from interpretation. You usually do not lose because the facts are too hard. You lose because you mix facts with a story and let emotion take the wheel. If you want a clear decision, you must place bare truth on one side, interpretation on the other side, and steer only by what can be verified. Divide the page, divide the wording, divide the steering. When you separate numbers from feelings, the brain gets quieter, your words lose their thorns, and the route appears like a signpost in broad daylight. Then action based on truth becomes clean, straight, and less draining than the detours invented by imagination. Less drama, more data, clear decisions. If you process emotion first, the work slows down, the words tangle, and everyone gets tired from circling in fog. If you treat speculation as fact, you will bend the entire map and wonder why every option dead ends. Do not guess. Do not blur it. Do not judge early. Every day, draw 2 columns, reality and interpretation, on a blank page, like wiping the windshield before you start the engine. You must decide from the left column, where bare facts stand still and stand accountable with you. You win by doing this quiet, the right column, so feelings are acknowledged but do not hold the steering wheel. To make it plain, separate correctly, choose cleanly, act straight, and let the result say the rest. See clearly. Choose right, act clean. What are the bare facts here, a missed milestone or a verdict on your character? Which part are you painting over, and which part remains as plain as ink on paper? If someone else stood in your place, would the facts change, or would only the story change tone? Are you handling feelings instead of handling the work? And are you naming the right target for intervention? What fact-based reframe would give you back the wheel right now? Begin with a gentle but firm sequence. Write, strike, simplify, then propose and act like a driver. Write 3 plain facts, no adjectives, no emphasis, no judgment. Strike all speculation from the temporary frame. Condense it into one line of decision. Once the foundation is set, then speak. Say little, say true, say enough. Do not mix separate, because mixing makes you drive through a fogged windshield and mishear rain as shattering glass. Do not guess, verify, because one short check now saves 10 long apologies later. Do not chase the noise, hold the straight road. because noise does not guide, the compass does. You protect your dignity whenever you let truth stand in front and let emotion stand beside it in their rightful place. Straight principles, straight path, straight wording. Write, strike, simplify. Facts, choices, action, calm, clear, decisive. These trios are pocket tools. Pull them out and use them. Put them away and rest easy. They fit your hand wherever you go. Memorize them. Apply them. Repeat them. When tired, you can still draw 2 columns and choose from the left because it is the most energy-saving way. When bored, you can still keep sentences short, keep tone flat, and let the options stand up in front of you. When no one claps, you can still be honest because honesty always shortens detours in every conversation. You do not need an audience to be clear. You only need a clean windshield in the road right ahead. Quiet the noise. Open the facts. Go straight. You win by doing the put facts first, story second, then lock the wheel to navigate by data. You win by doing this switch, it seems to me, to the facts show, so listeners trust you word by word. You win by doing this seat, emotion in the passenger seat, buckle it in to look out the window while you drive. See, choose, do, write, strike, simplify. Hold the facts, offer a plan, lock confirmation. Each beat adds another stretch of smooth pavement under your tires. Are you turning one concrete piece of feedback into a dark tale about your whole future? Are you using words like always, all for sure, when the reality is a single off beat that needs adjustment? Will you dare to swap, I think, for I check before you speak, so no one has to clean up your wording? Can you write a fact-based reframe like, here's the situation, the data shows, my proposal is, do you want to be remembered for noise or for a clear voice standing next to the truth? Let facts be the anchor, not your mood, so your decision boat does not drift when rumor winds rise. Take the compass out of your pocket, place it in your hand, and steer by true north, not the false north sketched by gossip. Switch on low-beam headlights when the fog is thick because seeing near for sure beats imagining far for pretty. These habits are not flashy, but they save your credibility from sharp turns caused by momentary emotion. Steady hands on the wheel, see what is close first, then proceed. Every day make 2 columns, reality and interpretation, for one current snag to train the reflex of looking straight the way you breathe evenly under stress. You must choose from the left column because it stands in daylight and stands under hard questions. You win by doing this quiet, the right column, because feelings deserve respect, but do not have a license to drive right now. Block summary, facts lead, interpretation follows action, stamps the page, and this order keeps you out of the black hole. Right order, right place, right role. Do not use hearsay as your North Star, use truth as your marker, because a real marker does not drift when the current of debate runs fast. Do not label people, describe the work, because accurate description opens the door to repair while labels slam it shut. Do not mix system error with personal errors, separate them so you fix the right spot, because using a cannon on a mosquito only cracks the wall. Let wording serve the work, not your fear, so your voice shakes less and your route bends less. Clear task, right target, enough force. Right to strike, simplify. Put facts first, put story second. Put action in place now. Set short sentences, set straight ideas, set the decision point. After each trio, take one breath and let the body feel lighter, the mind brighter, and the hands steadier. Body calm, head calm, work calm. When someone throws, I heard that at you do not need to win an argument. You only need to ask, what are the facts? When your heart races at a long email, you do not need to reply at once. You only need to draw 2 columns and read the left one out loud. When a meeting drifts on emotion, you do not need a keynote speaker. You only need to invite everyone back to the facts and continue. This return lowers the heat, clarifies responsibility, and reveals a move that everyone sees as fair and sensible. Heat down, ownership clear, next move visible. You win by doing this: restate bare truth before you state opinion, like reading coordinates before giving directions. You win by doing this: separate I feel from what happened and box them correctly so nothing spills. You win by doing this: lock actions to evidence so people trust you at the hardest second. Prepare, present, confirm, acknowledge the emotion, hand the wheel to facts, proceed with action, protect dignity, protect credibility, protect momentum. The road lights up one section at a time under your steps. Will you drop extra adjectives, drop exclamations, drop guesses, so your words breathe like fresh air? Will you say, I am not sure about this part, I will check and get back, instead of filling the gap with invention? Will you ask, if we change the person, would the facts change? To see whether you are being fair or biased toward your own story. Will you keep emotion in the passenger seat or let it yank the wheel from your hands again? Will you drive by facts or by a movie? Reset the order: facts first, interpretation, next decision last. Good order creates a good workday. Look straight at the board, read the numbers, then say the shortest sentence that holds the truth. That short line will cool the room. Add one breath, add one check, add one confirmation, and you clear the curve without a scrape. That is how you keep the wheel even when noise rises, lights flash, and people wait for your line. Keep the order, keep the principle, keep the dignity. In the end, act by the facts and respect emotion in its proper seat like a quiet passenger. Emotion is acknowledged but does not drive, because the wheel belongs to you and the road belongs to truth. You move on with a bright mind, a straight voice, and a decision that stands in daylight. See clearly now. Go straight now. Arrive now. Chapter 5, Shoulder the Load. Take active responsibility. You cannot rewind time, but you can rewind your attitude and take the wheel for the rest of the game. The delay has already happened, and from this moment on, your dignity is measured by how you claim your part and steer with transparency. Stand tall. Tell the truth. Act now. When you choose to shoulder it, your wording becomes clear. Your voice steadies, and the person across from you sees a grown adult in command. One honest decision travels a shorter road than 10 excuses, and it opens the door to options instead of opening your mouth to rationalizations. Clear intent, clear work, clear ownership. If you hide, a small mistake stretches into a long stain, and your credibility flakes off like paint on a door left out in the rain. If you blame the circumstances, your brain will memorize the victim role, and next time will hunt for excuses instead of a root. Do not hide. Do not blame. Do not blur. Every day ask, what is my part, like switching on a light in a dark room to see what must be picked up. You must tell the truth and make a proposal so the conversation has rails instead of drifting in emotion. You win by doing this: lock a new shared milestone so trust has an anchor and momentum can return. These 3 moves add up to one mature cadence: acknowledge briefly, propose clearly, execute cleanly, then let the results speak. Alert, responsible, plan in hand. What can you control right now besides your opening line, your tone, and the next step you are ready to own? What would you say if you were the team lead, and what do you most need to hear from yourself in that role? Does transparency make you stronger when the room needs a reliable marker to gather around and coordinate? What is your alternate plan if the old way failed, and who needs to stand where in the new picture so it runs cleanly? What do you want people to remember about you at the hardest second, the silence or the clear voice? With a proposal, begin with 3 everyday lines. You can say, even when your throat is dry and your heart is fast. I will own this part. Here is the situation, and the plan I propose is, please confirm so I can execute now. Wrap the conversation into a straight line acknowledgement proposal, confirmation, and the wheel returns to your hands. Not justification, but transparency, because justification burns through trust faster than any technical error you have ever made. Not avoidance, but standing at the helm and taking the strain, because stepping up one beat early saves 10 beats of cleanup later. Not passing it off, but pulling responsibility to yourself because initiative is the only language that purchases real respect. You shift from someone set adrift to the navigator, and the whole room breathes steadier when one clear voice takes charge. Candid, sure-handed, reassuring. Acknowledge, propose, execute. Clear, firm, warm. Short, clean, close. These are not slogans to hang on a wall. They are tools on your belt ready to draw and use without rehearsal. Keep this trio. Use this trio. Live by this trio. When you are tired, you can still speak one honest sentence and ask for a brief confirmation instead of scattering long promises. When you are bored, you can still set one step right at your feet instead of waiting for motivation like an unreliable guest. When no one applauds, you can still do what needs doing so that tomorrow you are not ashamed in the mirror. That is the discipline of adulthood. Fewer words, more responsibility, and a voice with weight. Composed, measured, sufficient force. You win by doing this. Clean your opening line, so trust has a foothold and your plan has a doorway. You win by doing this. Turn mistake into lesson, into action, and action into credibility that anyone can see with their own eyes. You win by doing this. Say less, do it, cleanly, confirm clearly, so people collaborate instead of doubting every word you say. Acknowledge, propose, execute, calm, clear, decisive, shared information, shared plan, shared responsibility. Each beat is a brick that repairs the trust bridge that just cracked. Are you waiting for someone to authorize your self-respect, or are you signing your own name to responsibility like an adult? Are you telling a story that lightens your load, or a story that helps the work move forward with integrity? Have you named your part clearly, or are you still asking questions to stretch an unnecessary silence? Do you want to be seen as a clever defender or as a steady navigator? A difference of one line, a difference of an entire reputation. Will you stand in the center and say the sentence the room most needs to hear? Return to the structure of speaking truth, so a straight road opens through the smoke of emotion and excuse. This is my part. This is the situation, and this is my proposal. This is what I will do, and I need your confirmation. Short lines frame solid action, and solid action returns calm to the whole team. Do not wait for everything to settle. Make one thing clear, because one clear point pulls in the second by momentum. Do not bundle all faults into fate. Split them and own your share, because separation is the condition for real cooperation. Do not spread your anger onto people. Spread the right information to the right place, because information fuels decent decisions. From there, the room cools, the noise drops, and the work sounds like an engine running steady again. Less noise, less heat, less tangle. Acknowledge, propose, execute. Name it right, lay it out clearly, lock it fast, listen, adjust, proceed. These three sets are three straight lines on the map, steering you out of the maze of fumbling and back to the boulevard of credibility. Look straight, step straight, go straight. When accusations arrive, you do not need a defensive reflex. You need one line of ownership and one proposal with force. When disappointed eyes weigh on you, you do not need a long explanation. You need an alternate plan compact enough to carry. When your body trembles, you do not need more words. You need one step right at your feet so your brain believes you are in command. These are three keys that reopen the door to calm when the air feels too thin to breathe. Solid, lightheaded, directional. Every day ask directly, what is my part in the mirror? Then write one line so your brain cannot escape. You must tell the truth and make a proposal in short sentences, because short keeps the room at a cooperative temperature. You win by doing this. Lock the new shared milestone, because a fresh commitment is the safety line that clips everyone into the same rhythm. Block summary. Adults do not speak for show. Adults claim their part clearly and finish the part they claimed. Clear share, clear milestone, clear work. Do not push the cost onto others. Pay the cost of your part because you are buying back tomorrow's freedom. Do not use silence as a wall. Use transparency as a bridge because bridges bring people closer. Do not beg for sympathy. Request coordination on the facts because cooperation built on truth outlasts any emotional promise. You become trustworthy when you stand steady in a storm and speak lines tight enough for people to rally and act together. Tight enough, clear enough, warm enough. Acknowledge, propose, execute, clear, firm, warm, before, during, after. Set these 3 empty beats in your head like a metronome so every line you speak lands on the team's beat of cooperation. Hold the beat, hold the tone, hold the standard. What are you controlling right now and what specific help do you need so you can move fast without stumbling? What would you say if you were in the lead chair, and what exact sentence do you want to hear from yourself across the table? Does transparency make you stronger when the one thing everyone fears is being abandoned in an information blind spot? Is your alternate plan compact enough that others can carry a corner, or is it still heavy with words you have not dared to cut? Who do you need for what, where, and in what order have you said their names in a calm voice? Choose to shoulder it now because every second adds dust to trust and another notch of difficulty to your words. Reputation does not return with a speech. Reputation returns with one straight line and one clean step repeated correctly until things settle. People may not always remember what you said, but they will remember the sense of calm when you held the wheel and told the truth. From here, you rebuild the bridge of trust with the bedrock of action, not the thin mortar of promises. Choose to shoulder it. Stand at the helm. Reputation begins to rise again from here. Chapter 6, Renegotiate. Communicate after you are late. When you are late, the heaviest thing is not the slip timeline. It is the prolonged silence that sends trust downhill. You can save momentum if information goes first and emotion follows. Late information makes the whole team drift in a blind zone. Speak early. Speak clearly. Speak in solutions. Late information is the real offense. Late delivery can be rescued with a straight conversation and a workable plan. Right now, your words are the steering wheel for the whole team, and your delivery is the handbrake when the room starts to skid. Candid, respectful, cooperative. If you stay silent, the work fails. Your reputation falls and cooperation snaps like a cut wire. If you plead, the listener must shoulder your mistake and you surrender command of the work that is yours to lead. Do not be silent. Do not plead. Do not dodge. Every day, flag risk early, the way you switch on the hazard lights when you feel the tires slide on wet pavement. You must present options so people have a foothold for thinking instead of listening to endless complaints. You win by doing this. Lock a new commitment so everyone can hold a shared marker and pull the rhythm back on track. 3 lines, 1 frame enough to turn a dead end into forward flow when trust needs something solid to hold. Name it directly. Lay it out clearly. Lock it in cleanly. What does the receiver need to know right now before they imagine the worst and shut the door on cooperation? What 3 acceptable choices can you offer so they see you are proactive and still want to solve this together? What line is both direct and respectful so you keep your dignity and save face for the listener? What wording preserves the bridge for next time instead of burning it for 1 minute of avoiding the truth? How will you confirm so there is no misunderstanding and no extra time spent cleaning up words? Make 2 ordinary moves that you can do immediately, even with a dry throat and a fast heartbeat. Open with 1 line of ownership, then insert bare facts and a clear proposal. Close with a request for confirmation and a specific channel for feedback. A straight line opens, the timeline returns. Not silence, but initiative, because silence under pressure invites guessing and lets people write a bad script about you. Not pleading, but co-solving, because pleading puts you in the back seat, while co-solving returns you to the driver's seat with clear responsibility. Not stretching emotion, but shortening sentences because the length of emotion is inverse to the quality of decisions. You change the room's air when you shift posture from beg for mercy to build together, from afraid to speak clearly, proactive, principled, with force. Speak early, speak clearly, speak in solutions, respectful, candid, cooperative, calm, clear, decisive. These three tricolons are three switches. Flip them, the room lights up, and people see a way out instead of staring at one another. Lights on, path on, rhythm on. When you are tired, you can still say one short, sufficient sentence instead of hiding behind a long email you will not send. When you are bored, you can still set one step at your feet instead of letting emotion write the script. When no one applauds, you can still keep a flat tone, state the facts, and return responsibility to your part. That is the description of a professional in a hard moment, not a slogan for a wall. Composed, measured, enough force. You win by doing this. Speak early to quench rumor before it becomes a storm in someone else's head. You win by doing this. Offer three compact options to move the talk from judgment to co-creating a path. You win by doing this. Lock confirmation to turn words into rails and rails into a steady cadence. Acknowledge, propose, confirm, shared understanding, shared action, shared responsibility. Few words on point, enough force. Each beat places a brick back into human trust. Will you make the receiver guess, or will you give them a clear picture so cooperation does not flinch? Do you want them to hear a beggar or a teammate bringing options to the table with a calm attitude? Which tone, which wording, and which moment will you use to close the gap and prevent the next misunderstanding? Do you want to be remembered for initiative or for silence when the room most needed a responsible voice? Do you choose the driver's seat or the back seat in your own story? Begin with a line of ownership, because truth spoken on time weighs less than truth dragged in late. Present the facts briefly, because one straight line of fact is worth 10 lines of self-defense. Offer options, because options open cooperation instead of cornering people against a wall. End with a request for confirmation, because confirmation turns words into shared commitment. One beat, one line, one voice. Not circling, but going straight, because circling drains trust like wind, pulling heat from a room with open windows at night. Not blaming circumstances, but centering the work, because circumstances do not deliver progress. The work needs someone at the helm. Not speaking for pretty, but speaking for movement, because pretty without motion is useless when the engine must run. You are rewriting the order. Adults speak to make things happen, not to soothe bruised egos. Speak to act. Act to build trust. Trust to move on. Speak early. Speak clearly. Speak in solutions. Center the listener. Center the goal. Center the next step. Name the work. Name the roles. Name the shares. These sets are the user manual for your voice in hard moments. Nothing more and nothing less. Keep it near your heart. Keep it on your lips. Keep it in your hands. When you enter the call, do not cue the soundtrack of emotion. Switch on the light of facts and frame the talk with one line. Here is my part, here is the situation, and I have three options for us to choose from. Tell me which option fits best. I will confirm and execute immediately. Lines like these pull everyone onto the same plane. Less drama, more results. Tight sentence. Tight idea. Tight execution. Every day, flag risk early, even if you do not have full data yet, because earlier by one notch is better than later by one notch. You must present options even as a three-choice frame, because options give both sides a sense of control. You win by doing this. Lock a new commitment, because commitment draws a line that tells each person what to do next. Clear summary early to put out fire, clear to see the road, solutions to move forward, confirmation to stop the drift. Early, clear, locked. Do not turn the talk into a courtroom. Turn it into a solutions meeting with everyone on the same side of the table. Not I apologize without limit, but I own this part, and I propose this plan so self-respect and effectiveness can coexist. Do not throw emotion in each other's faces. Put the facts on the board so reason has a surface to grip and hands have work to do. From there, the room cools, the noise drops, and people face the same direction again. Less heat, less tangle, less fatigue. Speak early, speak clearly, speak in solutions, respectful, candid, cooperative. Hold the facts, hold the goal, hold the process. Each tricolon is a metronome beat that keeps speed so the decision train rolls steadily instead of jerking on the rails. Hold the beat, hold the tone, hold the line. Will you stand up and open now or sit while fear writes the script and pushes you to the back seat? Will you bring 3 concrete options or make the receiver dig through a heap of pleading for a path forward? Will you close the conversation with confirmation or let it drift and return later to clean another mess of confusion? Which road will you choose so your self-respect stands tall when the room needs a driver? Will you answer with words or with silence? Send a message that is short, clear, and optioned so your voice opens coordination and shuts down speculation on the spot. Lock it with confirmation so commitment becomes the final line and everyone knows their next move. From here, people tire less, the work tangles less, and your credibility begins to rise with every right sentence. Keep the wheel, keep your dignity, and take the team forward. Chapter 7, Next Step, Shrink the Work to Restart. Overload does not mean you are weak. It means you are trying to carry the entire table instead of lifting one chair. If you want momentum back, break the work into pieces that fit your hands so your brain believes the road ahead is still lit. Small first, clean first, solid first. When you narrow the scope, friction drops, momentum returns, and self-respect comes back like a slow, deep breath. One solid step pulls in the second while trying to hold everything drags you into the quicksand of defensive delay. Start light, continue steady, finish clean. If you keep holding the whole pile, you will stand still while believing you are busy, and at night you will feel only tired and empty. If you wait for the right inspiration, the day will pass without a single checkpoint, and the incident will keep chewing on your credibility. Do not hold it all. Do not wait for inspiration. Do not lose the wheel. Every day, choose one solid step, like laying a brick into a low spot so the path levels out. You must finish before planning step 2, so your brain relearns completion instead of collecting ideas. You win by doing this. Keep the chain small but steady, so momentum builds like a flywheel warming up after the first few turns. To make this block plain, slice the work, thin lock one point, then repeat until the picture begins to appear by itself. Small, clean, solid. What is the smallest meaningful step right now? Not the prettiest, something you can finish with your own hands today. What is holding you at the second missing facts, missing resolve, or the fear of criticism that pushes you into circles? If you cut out half which piece remains to finish with dignity and to pull momentum back, are you waiting for perfect before you move, while good enough would already open the next door? What will one completion pull in for you? Now momentum, confidence, or breathing room? Set 2 small behaviors to restart like oiling a stuck hinge, quiet but effective. Split the large task into 3 visible chunks written out like 3 stones forming a path. Choose the nearest chunk, finish it then, close with one short line of confirmation. The path flattens. The momentum returns. Do not hold it all, break it down, because even the strongest person carries one tidy backpack, not a storeroom of broken parts. Do not chase perfection, move steadily, because perfection is a dusty windshield, while steady motion is the cloth that lets you see the real road. Do not add work, subtract it, because subtraction opens breathing room for the behavior that deserves it. You will feel energy come back the moment you stop displaying tasks and start stamping done on each small piece. Less tangle, less noise, less waste. Small, clean, solid. Begin. continue, finish, see, choose, do. These three trios are steps close to your feet. Climb one at a time and you reach the roof. Jump the whole staircase and you end up winded on the landing. Climb steady, climb sure, climb through. When you are tired, you can still finish one chunk because one finished chunk calms the mind more than 10 handsome plans you never touched. When you are bored, you can still clear one jammed corner because loosening one knot slackens the whole rope. When no one applauds, you can still close an open loop like sliding the deadbolt before bed. That is the discipline of someone responsible to themselves. No stage, just clean hands and tidy work. Composed. Even paced. Enough force. You win by doing this. Choose a step at your feet. Take it to the end and let done be the biggest reward your nerves receive. You win by doing this reorder. The cue put the needed before the nice, so your hands stop arguing with your head. You win by doing this. Keep the chain small but steady, so your reputation attaches to done, not almost. Small, clean, solid. Begin. Continue. Finish. Fewer words, more done, less strain. Each beat is a brick that paves your road of self-respect. Are you truly stuck on a task or stuck on the belief that everything must be perfect at the start? If a stranger looked at your table, which chunk would they tell you to do first to see progress immediately? Do you choose to subtract or to pile on to finish or to stay busy, to take the straight road or the maze? Will you give yourself a small win today or wait for an imaginary free day before lifting a hand? What do you want your brain to believe about you, a finisher or someone dating tomorrow? Drop the slogans and return to the moves because one correct move is worth 10 posters. Cut the task into 3 chunks your eyes can see. Place chunk 1 in your hands and give it your full care. Close with one short line of confirmation, 1 loop, 1 beat. Do not write the script "everything is ruined" labeled the stuck zone because naming correctly opens half the door. Do not stack all faults into fate, split faults into parts, because a part with an owner has someone to carry it to the end. Do not squander attention, gather it, because attention is the scarcest fuel in a life. You will feel the work come back to life when you return attention to the place where progress is born. Focus, simplify, aim straight, small, clean, solid. Plant a stake, tie 1 line, stretch 1 tarp, untie 1 knot, pull 1 length, join 1 seam. Each tricolon is a set of hand-to-hand moves, building a camp wherever you go, not flashy but reliable. No frills, no clutter, no drag. When the feed distorts the signal, do not hold your head. Hold 1 chunk and finish it so your brain believes you can still navigate. When the inbox is noisy, do not answer everything. Choose the thread that serves the chunk in front of you and let the rest wait their turn. When resources are thin, do not complain. Cut decorative standards to keep functional standards. This is how you protect momentum. Drop the fiction, keep the essential, and plant your foot on solid ground first. Hold momentum. Hold stillness. Hold the line. Every day, choose 1 solid step that does not need permission from inspiration because action pulls inspiration behind it like a loyal shadow. You must finish before planning step 2 because in progress for too long is the softest and most dangerous trap. You win by doing this. Keep the chain small but steady because steady chains teach the brain to love done more than later. Repeat the plain truth. The formula is not new, but it saves you whenever the waves rise and the boat named willpower rocks hard. Grip steady, cut small, lock clean. Do not chase the long list. Pull 1 task into the present because the present is where everything actually happens. Do not scatter tools. Use what is already in your hands because your hands know the work better than a collection of shiny apps. Do not say tomorrow. I will say I will finish this because tomorrow is the shortcut into a jungle you do not want to enter. You will feel your self-respect tick upward each time done appears as steadily as an honest clock. Steady, healthy, easy to breathe. Small, clean, solid. Begin, continue, finish. Lay a brick, set a corner brick, build the row. These 3 beats do not boast, but they raise a load-bearing wall for a hard day. It holds the wind. It absorbs the bumps. It eases the fatigue. Will you drop half the decorative asks to keep half the essentials for flow? Will you cross out one task that is pretty but optional to make room for a task that is ugly but vital? Will you dare to say good enough, close it, when the perfectionist voice demands one more coat of paint? Do you want to touch a finish line or touch the feeling of endless busyness? Do you choose momentum or performance? Tap the opening beat for today. One chunk only, but truly done. Put your hands on the nearest chunk and go straight through it like walking through a thin morning fog. Close with one line of confirmation, then move to the next chunk once your heart is calm and your head is clear. That is how you keep the driver's seat even when the hill is steep and the engine runs hot. Choose one step. Finish that step. Momentum follows. Chapter 8. Clear the noise. Protect your decision space. Noise does not only pound your ears, it warps the frame, pulls you off the straight road, and stuffs emotion into the driver's seat. If you want to see the road, you must clear the noise. Hold silence long enough for reason to hear its own voice again. Turn off the noise, narrow the field, hold the wheel, hold the... Silence at the right time is not avoidance. It is the skill of creating space so facts can step forward and stand in the right place. When that space appears, what matters shows itself the way a tabletop appears after dust is wiped the windshield bright before a drive. Less, clearer, stronger. If you open more channels, your brain will stutter like a weak connection, and the decision will stumble in the first few feet. If you feed the noise, fear gets a microphone, and truth is pushed behind a door of static that no one locks. Do not open more. Do not feed the noise. Do not lose the road. Every day, switch off the sources that nibble your attention and drain the battery of self-control. You must draw a clear border between the work in front of me and everything else, like stretching a visible line. You win by doing this. Keep focus, burst short but sharp, then release briefly so the brain can change the air without losing direction. Clear summary, fewer inputs, sharper boundaries, higher quality of attention, and the frame snaps back into focus. Turn off, narrow, focus, less, clearer, stronger, clean, straight, solid. What is your loudest noise right now beyond the phone and the habit of mindless scrolling? If you were silent for 10 minutes, what would you notice besides a slower heartbeat and a road that appears in steps? What does a good decision require? Fewer inputs, enough facts, or one well-placed question? Can you say no right now to protect the task in hand? Letting meaning defeat the habit of restlessness, which door closes and which momentum opens when you lock the latch and hold the boundary. Set 2 small, ordinary, powerful moves like flipping the right switches in a room with mixed purposes. Put the phone out of sight, face down, and turn off notifications from unrelated groups. Leave only 3 things on the desk, the main task, a drink and paper for notes. Your line of sight breathes, your mind breathes, your decisions breathe. Do not add more reduce because one more window invites one more draft that chills fragile focus. Do not scatter, converge, because when a flashlight beam is gathered, the light cuts deeper and farther. Do not run after every call. Name the target so your hands do not grasp at air and your heart does not scatter. You shape the environment, and the environment shapes you back toward less noise and more meaning. Cut the frills. Keep the core. Protect the cadence. Turn off, narrow, focus. Less, clearer, stronger. Close, choose, do. These sets are keys hanging by the door. Pick them up and turn the lock on any noise anytime. Pick them up. Turn the lock. Step in. When you are tired, you can still draw the curtains to soften glare. Turn off the noisy television in your head and sit upright for 1 minute. When you are bored, you can still close extra tabs, keep the one you need, and give your eyes back their strength. When no one applauds, you can still clear the desk surface because quiet discipline feeds long-run momentum. That is how you respect the work and respect yourself when the day is harsh. Quiet the noise. Hold the boundary. Move on. You win by doing this. Reduce inputs before you tackle the hard thing, so your brain has a flat surface to set the problem on. You win by doing this. Say no to the secondary, say yes to the primary, and say little to everything in between. You win by doing this. Drop an anchor for attention, then push the decision boat a stretch until the water calms. Turn off, narrow, focus, say no, say yes, say less. Choose the path, choose the tempo, choose responsibility. Each beat lays a brick in a quiet hallway where your thinking walks through. Which voice is loudest, the work or the notifications, the goal or the junk, your dignity or your habits? Will you mute one group, delete one application, drop one habit to bring your brain back to the ground of the main task? Will you allow a little silence so the answer rises like the bottom of a lake appearing through still water? Whom will you answer first, the call of decent work or the noise of restlessness? Do you choose the quiet room or the loud hallway? Reset the boundary with 3 simple reusable sentences that fit many contexts. I am focusing on this. Everything else will wait. This is the channel for the main task. The environment hears you and you hear the goal when your lines are this clean, short, tidy, sufficient. Be proud not of being busy, but of being clear, because clarity opens the door to cooperation and quality. Do not plant flags everywhere. Plant one in the right place, because one well-placed flag keeps the team from drifting. Do not accept every invitation. Accept the meaningful ones so your day does not crumble into fine sand. You become trustworthy when your attention is clean and your route is straight. Trustworthy, reliable, ready to be entrusted. Turn off, narrow, focus, less, clearer, stronger. Set boundaries, set channels, set priorities. Drop these tricolons like manhole covers that keep noise from flooding your clean, dry road. Close the cover, keep it dry, keep rolling. When the inbox screams, do not open everything, filter by the main task and answer what is needed for the next step. When a meeting drifts, do not add to the pile. Bring people back to the agenda and the core question. When your head vibrates, do not force thought. Go quiet for a few beats, let the engine cool, then restart gently. Clarity returns when you dare to subtract, not when you try to add. Subtract more. Speak less. Worry less. Every day, turn off the main distraction before you touch the work, like closing a leaking valve that makes the room damp. You must draw a solid line between work hours and the rest of your private life, so neither side invades the other. You win by doing this. Keep focus bursts short but sharp, then shift smoothly to the next piece without dropping anything. Tight rhythm feeds dignity, and dignity feeds decision quality in every situation. Tight rhythm, dignity, quality. Do not push the brain to the maximum. Give it enough space, because overload breeds illusions and starves wisdom. Do not scroll by reflex. Choose like a driver, because hands off the wheel invite an accident at the next turn. Do not throw every door open. Close the side doors, because a draft-free house keeps the cooking fire steady and warm. You build a quiet room inside the day, and that quiet room builds you back into someone dependable. Room quiet, heart quiet, mind quiet. Turn off, narrow, focus. Keep less, keep clear, keep strong. Fewer temptations, less dawdling, less scatter. Each set is a plain mantra. Say it softly in your head and do it immediately with your hands. Say it softly. Do it now. See the difference. Are you ready to return priority to what matters and let the secondary step aside without complaint? Will you let a few invitations slide off your sleeve without guilt, because you are protecting the long road? Will you allow silence long enough for the answer to surface instead of being buried under addictive noise? Will you choose the door marked less to step into the room, marked clearer, and take back the strength marked stronger? Do you nod to yourself, reduce noise so the frame sharpens like pulling the curtain to let in just enough light across the work table? From here, decisions read brighter, your voice gets tighter, and the workday flows like water through a clean channel. Protect your quiet, protect the task in hand, and walk straight through the noise. Chapter 9, Post-Mortem. Learn from the incident without self-punishment. You do not grow stronger by avoiding incidents. You grow stronger by looking back without beating yourself to pieces. The most valuable lesson is not in scolding. It is in one small change in the right place so it does not happen again. Stop blaming. Stop self-punishing. Start learning. The most expensive lesson is the one you do not repeat because it gives you back credibility, cadence, and the wheel of your life. When you conduct a decent post-mortem, your mind clears your emotions, settle, and the work returns to a straight, verifiable path. See sharply, fix cleanly, tighten firmly. If you only scold yourself, the brain will learn fear instead of learning correctly, and your hands will shake each time you touch similar work. If you only blame others, the process will keep the same old holes, and your team will tire of cleaning the same mess. Do not hit yourself. Do not blame wildly. Do not repeat the mistake. Every day, write one line of lessons learned like driving a reminder nail into the exact spot on the wall. You must categorize the causes so you know what is due to skill, what is due to system, and what is due to coordination. You win by doing this. Add one simple safeguard that you can use immediately next time. Block summary, write it down, sort it out. Set a stop 3 small steps that turn pain into data and data into change. Write, set, hold. What is the root cause when you peel the emotional paint off the surface of the event? Which warning light flashed that you swiped past like a driver glued to a phone? What safeguard sits close enough to your hands to prevent a repeat without adding petty friction? How will you tell this lesson to your teammates so everyone remembers and wants to follow it? What evidence will prove the change is working rather than a pretty promise? Set 3 everyday moves to open the post-mortem, like opening a window to air a stuffy room. Write 3 lines: what happened, why it happened, what I will do differently next time. Change one small process detail in the right place, for example, a short confirmation step at the slippery point. Set a date with yourself to review results after the change is in place. Work calms, mind calms. Do not punish yourself. Adjust yourself because self-punishment fogs the wheel while proper adjustment makes the road brighter. Do not blame people. Fix the process because people can try, but the process must carry the repeat load instead of memory. Do not bury the error. Display it properly because looking straight builds courage, and courage produces quality. You shift roles from hot-headed judge to calm engineer, and there are fewer sighs at work because of it. Less judging, more fixing. Standards held. Inspect, fix, tighten, write, set, hold, separate, change, test. These 3 triclines are flags you plant back on the map so you do not wander into the same swamp next time. Plant the flag, change the path, move on. When you are tired, you can still write one line of learning, because one line keeps the mind from drifting past what matters. When you are bored, you can still add one safeguard because a small stop can block a long chain of loss. When no one applauds, you can still repair one corner of the process because that corner is silent evidence of growth. Adults learn by changing, not by sulking, and real learning shows up as different behavior. Composed, strong enough, true enough. You win by doing this. Write briefly, change a small thing, check again so the lesson lives in your hands instead of dying in a notebook. You win by doing this. Separate skill errors from system errors and treat the right organ with the right medicine. You win by doing this. Share the lessons with your team so one person's stumble becomes insight for everyone. Inspect, fix, tighten, write, set, hold, see, choose, do. Each beat is one rung up the ladder of professional dignity. Where does the root cause sit missing, data missing communication, or a missing stop at a handoff point? Which warning sign was ignored, a tool alert, a teammate's nudge, or a gut signal that something is off? Which safeguard is cheap and effective, a confirmation step, a minimal checklist, or a clear naming convention? How will you tell the lesson to the team? A short story, plain facts, and one change everyone can do. What proof will show the change? Works fewer errors, smoother cycle time, or positive feedback from stakeholders? Drop the whip, pick up the pen, because a pen traces the root while a whip only traces bruises. Drop the side, pick up the lock, because a lock in the right place stops the invisible leak. Drop the complaint, pick up the flag, because a flag on a shared marker stops the next argument. You redesign the situation so success is easier than failure. That is how a driver behaves, not a passenger. Design, set the stop, keep the pace, inspect, fix, tighten, classify, change the step, check again. Look ahead, speak early, confirm last. Each trio is a factory rhythm. Keep the beat and the machine runs smooth. Slip the belt and it spins out. Hold the rhythm. Hold the axle. Hold the momentum. When your ego is scratched, do not bandage it with self-blame. Rinse it with facts and seal it with a small change. When your reputation has a hairline crack, do not paint the surface. Replace the hollow brick under the plaster so the wall carries weight. When shame buzzes under the skin, do not hide. Tell your lesson to a trusted friend so you both walk straighter. That is how you turn pain into capital into skill, and skill into durable credibility. Honest, practical, in practice. Every day, write one line of lessons learned even small so your brain has a bank of lessons to withdraw at the right time. You must categorize causes because without categories, fixing becomes luck and progress becomes random. You win by doing this. Add one safeguard because a safeguard makes relapse harder and the right behavior easier. Emphasize it again. The post-mortem is a professional ritual, not an emotional confessional. Write clearly, fix correctly, tighten firmly. Do not file the lesson away. Post it on the desk so pride must read it when it walks by. Do not turn the post-mortem into a trial. Turn it into a workshop of improvements so everyone sees a role. Do not turn a mistake into an identity. Keep it at the scale of an event so the person can keep moving. You toughen over time when you dare to look and dare to fix without self-torment. Steady shoulders, steady hands, steady voice. Inspect, fix, tighten, write, set, hold, clear, firm, warm. These tricolons keep the post-mortem rational enough, disciplined enough, and human enough that no one fears the table. Enough reason, enough discipline, enough humanity. Are you seeking the truth or seeking a scapegoat so your pride can sleep? Will you add one small stop where things slip or add one more sigh where people complain? Are you retelling for cooperation to move forward or retelling so your private reputation feels less pain? What evidence will tell you the change works, and will you measure it by the eye, by the ear, or by the smoothness of the process? Do you choose to be the engineer or the judge? Close the learning loop with a clear route lesson, change, reinforcement. No add-ons, no deletions, no detours. From here, less work is spilled, people feel less strain, and the team trusts each other more in hard hours. You grow another notch, the trumpets of scolding go quiet, and you hear the steady engine again. Move on with a straight back, bright eyes, and hands that know where to set the stop. Lesson learned. Change now. Hold firm. Chapter 10, Identity. Become the person who reframes quickly and stays calm. You no longer only put out each fire. You become the one who resets the frame, shifts the angle, and sets the tempo for the room. From here on, your identity does not sit on luck. It sits on a reflex to reframe quickly, steadily, and with responsibility. Calm first, clear first, decisive next. You do not wait for emotion to settle before you steer. You steer so emotion settles because the wheel belongs to you, not to the storm. Identity is built one straight sentence at a time, one clean option at a time, and every time you keep dignity when the room is hot. See right, choose right, do right. Do. If you do not choose an identity, old habits will choose for you, and you will be pulled back into the familiar victim role. If you do not train a reframe reflex, panic will write the story, and your reputation will thin after each misstep. Do not drift. Do not wait for luck. Do not lose the wheel. Every day choose calm the way you choose a background color for the whole day, so decisions stand on a steady surface. You must train a reframe reflex in your language, so your words pull your thinking toward responsibility and options. You win by doing this. Behave like someone trustworthy, say less in the right spots, and do fully what is yours to do. To make this block plain identity is repeated habits, not a slogan, read out loud in a weak moment. Calm, clear, decisive. How does the person you want to be respond when trouble knocks, silence or initiative avoidance or navigation? What core principle will you keep so that, no matter the noise, your words stay upright and respectful to the listener? What do you want remembered about your handling? Clever blame shifting or clear proposals, begging for forgiveness or asking for cooperation. Which reputation are you building, the loudest voice in the room or the steady driver people rely on? How quickly will you reframe next time so your opening line pulls the conversation back to the right road? Set 2 foundational behaviors to train identity, like turning 2 dials on a control panel, one for language, one for action. Open with ownership, follow with bare facts, and close with a plan, plus a request for confirmation. Midday, remind yourself with one tight reframe to reset direction whenever emotion heats up. Keep it short, keep it straight, keep it warm. Not scattered, but steady, because steady lets people borrow your calm, like borrowing an umbrella in a sudden rain. Not swept along, but setting the tempo, because a tempo leader does not shout over the crowd. They tap a steady beat until the crowd slows down. Not pleasing emotion, but serving truth, because truth is the anchor for a boat that is rocking near the dock. You change the room's climate with your stance, then let solutions lead the rest forward. Sure hands, sure words, sure steps. Calm, clear, decisive. See, choose, do. Calm, candid, cooperative. These tricolons are the spine of identity, where the muscles of behavior attach and move with power without losing balance. Hold the frame, hold the tempo, hold the standard. When you are tired, you can still choose calm, because calm does not need extra energy. It needs a decisive choice. When you are bored, you can still speak less, because less in the right place beats any long speech in a hot room. When no one claps, you can still do your part right, because right work compounds into credibility while applause evaporates. That is identity, not a mood, and that is why it outlasts passing feelings. Steady shoulders, steady voice, steady heart. You win by doing this: calm first, then clarity, then decisiveness, in that order, so no one gets swept away. You win by doing this: see your share, choose the straight line, finish the job, and let reputation say what you wanted to boast. You win by doing this: lead the tempo with behavior, not promises, so people see the road and walk it in step. Calm, clear, decisive, see, choose, do, acknowledge, propose, execute. Each beat is a brick paving the road your name will walk on. Which backbone principle will you keep when the storm hits? Respect, honesty, or responsibility ahead of comfort? Which role will you choose when no one clears the way? A pointer, or the one who sets stakes and runs a line? Which sentence will make you stronger without making others lose face, so the bridge stays intact for next time? What will you reframe first, your wording, your emotion, or your expectation, so the wheel does not shake, your answer will set the road that follows. Identity is not a coat. Identity is skin. It walks with you into the boardroom and into the kitchen at day's end. Live the new identity with small, verifiable choices so you trust yourself before asking anyone else to trust you. Accumulate credibility with each decent response, then let that credibility buy time when the next hard moment arrives. You do not only handle incidents, you define how others will handle them in your absence. Live true. Repeat true. Stand firm. Do not bend the wheel to emotion. Bend emotion to the wheel so the vessel goes straight instead of circling in rumor squalls. Do not stand apart from truth. Stand beside it so your voice has weight even when you speak softly. Do not play the hero. Play the responsible one because responsibility outlives legend. You leave your mark on the scene by doing, not by taking pretty pictures of panic. Less show, more foundation, built to last. Calm, clear, decisive, composed, respectful, pragmatic, unhurried, precise, decisive. Each tricolon is a rhythm laid into your chest so your hands hold the wheel and your eyes stay on the road. Hold the rhythm, hold the range, hold the heading. When judgment rises, choose, I will own this part. And here is the plan, not a dramatic monologue. When skeptical eyes loom, choose data, not a script, and let data prove what you say. When an inner storm kicks up, choose one breath, not an outburst, then speak one short line that unlocks cooperation. These are 3 hand molds that let you reframe quickly without dropping your self-respect. Breath, words, action. Every day set calm as the default, so everything else cues up behind it and does not fight for the driver's seat. You must train a reframe line so short you can say it in the hardest second. You win by doing this act like someone trustworthy, even when no one is watching until honest habit becomes instinct. Repeat it plainly, the new identity does not arrive by campaign. It arrives by a series of small, well-placed decisions. Steadfast, humble, disciplined, not tangled but steady, not swept along, but setting the tempo, 2 rails that keep the behavior train straight for the long run. Do not wait for an audience. Wait for truth because truth gives you leverage and an audience only gives you volume. Do not demand perfection. Choose progress because progress is the road and perfection is a picture on a wall. Look up to orient, look down to work, and your identity thickens layer by even layer. Thicker, brighter, stronger. See, choose, do, calm, clear, decisive, respect, candor, cooperation. These 3 sets go with you into every room, reminding you that a driver does not need to shout. They need the right heading, right person, right task, right time. After an incident, what do you want people to say about you? Panic or navigation? Where do you want your reputation to stand, on reliable footing or on a code of promises? Who writes your story? The panic or your reframe reflex? Which role will make you proud tomorrow? Answer now. Live the new identity with steps that are clean, straight, and warm, and let outcomes introduce you. Build credibility, one response at a time, one truth at a time, one reframe that opens the way for responsible action. From here you go far on endurance, not fireworks, and people trust you because they saw you stand steady in hard minutes. Calm leads the way. Clarity keeps the tempo. Decisiveness closes the work. When the incident has passed, what remains is not a long apology, but the identity you just forged. You choose to reframe quickly, be transparent, and bring a plan, then let results sign their name in place of every explanation. Not scattered, but steady. Not swept along, but setting the tempo. Calm, clear, decisive. From start to finish, you steer with truth, use words as the steering wheel, and responsibility as the handbrake. You show others an adult navigating, not a loudspeaker for fear. See right first, choose right next, finish the job. Identity does not come from one brilliant moment. It is born from small habits you do correctly again and again. Every day choose calm. You must practice reframing. You win by doing this. Behave in a trustworthy way. Before the next hard moment, do you want people to see a name they can rely on or a shadow running away? Which principle will you keep? What is the first sentence you will say? How will you set the tempo? To close clearly, not scattered but steady, not swept along, but setting the tempo. Keep calm, clear, decisive at every turn. These three are the backbone of a hard day, the place where behavior grips and runs straight without slipping. See, choose, do, acknowledge, propose, execute, speak less, say clearly, do it cleanly. Afterward, you enter the room with straight shoulders, a warm voice, and a sense of safety that spreads like a soft amber light. People do not need you to be perfect. They need someone who reframes quickly, is honest, and is decisive enough to open the way. Trust rises, the team quiets, the road straightens. Starting tomorrow, you will not wait for inspiration. You will choose calm as the base and let action pull emotion back into place. Every day, one reflex. You must tell the truth. You win by doing this. Keep it clean. From incident to identity, there are no fireworks. You say less, you do it cleanly, and you take responsibility. That is how credibility thickens layer by layer, durable and real without lights or drums. Reality leads the way. Dignity keeps the tempo. Credibility thickens. You have learned to stop the inner movie, read the facts, own your share. Renegotiate, break the work down. Clear the noise and run a decent post-mortem. Add fast reframing. Keep calm, clear, decisive. Continue as the driver. Tomorrow, when a sharp email knocks, you will smile slightly, reframe, and open a lane for cooperation to pass through. No showboating. No beating around the bush. No dropping your self-respect. All that remains is to live as the person you chose to be. So small, choices mesh into a larger trajectory. Calm as the base. Clarity leads the way. Decisiveness closes the work. On a long road, you do not need to run the fastest. You need to hold a steady pace and know where to turn the wheel. Step steadily, breathe steadily, let trust settle again. No one is immune to incidents, but you remain trustworthy if you are steady, not scattered, and if you set the tempo, not get swept along. Choose the driver's seat. Choose the straight line. Choose the clean step. When this identity is forged, an incident stops being an enemy and becomes a test that reminds you of your principles. No more fear. No more dodging. No more running away. Live the new identity, accumulate credibility bit by bit, and let outcomes speak for you in every room. Go straight through. Hold the wheel. Steady on the long road.